Hey guys, this is going to be a quick, unscripted review reaction to Star Wars Visions Season 2, which I just watched. It's fresh enough in my mind that I think I can just do this off the cuff. I normally try to get my thoughts more organized, but these videos were so short that I feel like it's just kind of like a instant digestion. You either like it or you don't. That being said, I am very fond of the concept of Star Wars Vision, and I love the first season where it was all different anime studios. This season, though, they tried to do it differently. Instead of doing anime studios, they just picked the best animation studio from a bunch of different countries. So I would say it's a lot more of a mixed bag than the first season was. I didn't review the first season, but hey, this one just came out, so I'll review this one. Alright, so let me just go through the episodes one by one, because I didn't like a lot of them, but I would say there's at least something good to take away from each episode. Alright, so the first episode was Sith. It's about some middle-aged woman with a robot arm in, I guess, a weird virtual reality art studio who's dealing with the fact that she wants to or used to be a Sith, maybe. And I guess she reformed. A bunch of these shorts had this weird reoccurring theme where they're about the Sith kidnapping people or something, or abducting children, and this one kind of falls in that category. Anyway, this one probably has the best CGI, which is I guess why they picked it first. And it's pretty visually interesting, but that being said, while it's very visually gorgeous, the plot and everything else is very, very thin. Not sure how I judge this one. Not the best, not the worst. Just kind of okay. Although I kind of hated that the Sith that they end up fighting at the end is literally just knockoff Value City Darth Vader. Alright, moving on. Next one is Screecher's Reach from Cartoon Saloon. Cartoon Saloon is probably the best indie animation studio in Ireland. They famously did a movie, I think it was called Song of the Sea, that won a bunch of film festivals back in the day. This is more of that same kind of style from them. So this one is about a bunch of kids who are exploring a cave that might have a monster in it, but then it turns out the monster is an old Sith master who's gone senile in her old age. So the kids end up killing her, which is very, very dark. And then after they kill her, a Sith recruiter comes to ask them to become fucking Sith Dark Masters or whatever. And I think if I remember right, one of the kids ends up going with them, or maybe she changed her mind at the last minute. Either way, very, very dark, very, very interesting. Honestly, if it wasn't for the fact that the monster in the cave ends up being a senile Sith Master, this otherwise has zero connection to Star Wars and just works as a weird sci-fi story. I think I like this one. I think this one was one of the better ones, judging how they all were. I mean, it definitely had its weird problems in the fact that it's very, very loosely Star Wars based, but yeah, it was overall definitely one of the more solid ones. Next one was In the Stars from Punk Robot by Chile. I thought this one was by Studio Laika because it has their kind of look. This one was very okay, but a little bit boring. Honestly, I just watched it and I have a hard time remembering what happened other than the fact there were a brother and a sister monster, and they were all alien elf deer people, I guess. And they had the Force. This one really didn't make an impact on me. Next one was I Am Your Mother by Aardman Animations, the studio that is famous in the United Kingdom as being their best claymation studio. They did Wallace and Gromit, Chicken Run, Shaun the Sheep. This one I kind of loved. It was maybe one of the best ones, maybe the second best one, I'd say. This one's just about some girls having a race, and there's some bad girl rivalry going on. That being said, I fully love this one. It was extremely charming, just full of character and heart, and also it made a lot of jokes about Wedge Antilles, which I appreciated. After that was Journey to Darkhead. I thought this was by an anime studio, but it's actually by Studio Mir from South Korea, who does a lot of like the Warner Brothers Justice League stuff, a lot of the Legend of Korra, a lot of the pseudo anime stuff for like Netflix. So yeah. That being said, they went full anime on this, and this was just charming as hell. This one, hands down, is my pick for the best one of the batch. Honestly, just because I kind of missed the Star Wars anime take from the first season, and this is the only short that had that kind of anime vibe. Now, that being said, on top of that, what I really loved about this one is it just has like 3 characters. It has basically girl Han Solo, young Jedi Master, and evil Sith guy. And all 3 of those characters were fucking amazing. Like, I wish I could have seen more of those characters, because in the little time I had to spend with those characters were all fucking like radical. I loved young Jedi Master, I loved girl Han Solo, and I loved evil Sith guy, because evil Sith guy was a brand new original cool Sith Lord and not just a fucking token Darth Vader ripoff, which most of these fucking shorts have. So yeah, I gotta say, this was the best one. I love this one. After that was The Spy Dancer by the French studio La Chate. This one was weird. Okay, I give this one credit because it went a little bit out of the safe space, and it was about like some dancers who like their town got occupied by stormtroopers. Oh, this is a World War II analog. Very, very astute, France. So yeah, this is like analoging on the fact that France was occupied by Nazis in World War II, and I guess it's like almost based on a true story, but set in Star Wars world. So yeah, the story of this one is that there's like this dancer assassin with like weird superpowers. I guess she can use the Force, but she's not a Jedi. She's just like this overpowered dancer assassin, and she is trying to kill like these stormtroopers in her city, and they're like just drunk trying to have a good time, but she wants them dead because they're enemy agents. And in the end, it ends up that like the leader of them is like her brother or her son or something convoluted like that. I didn't hate this one, but I did not like the way that the stormtroopers were overly stylized in this one, that they basically looked not even like stormtroopers and like fucking teddy bears. But yeah, this one had some issues, but at the same time, it brought a lot of original stuff to the table, so I can't hate it either. Next one was Bandits of Golak by 88 Pictures from India. Now this one I did straight up hate. This one is just like some Indian kids on a train and they're trying to get to their grandmother, but it's set in Star Wars, but it's only set in Star Wars as far as like the characters having lightsabers and beam blasters and there being aliens on the train. If you take away those 3 elements, otherwise this is just straight up like a biographical film about 2 kids in India trying to reach their grandmother in like an oppressive like government, which again, like I guess Star Wars, once again you can blame that on like the British government being assholes. So yeah, this one just didn't wow me because this one honestly did not seem like Star Wars. It seemed like they were just like doing their real life and like adding minor Star Wars elements to it. Next one was The Pit by d'Artstagio. That's a famous studio in Japan that they're run by Black Americans, even though they're based in Japan. They're like Black Americans who left the United States because of the racism, and now they live in Japan. So that being said, this one has kind of the same issue as the last one. It's not really about Star Wars, it's about black slavery. It's about a bunch of black slaves who are owned by stormtroopers, and there's a few white slaves too, but they mostly focus on the black slaves. And they're like forced to dig for kyber crystals in this pit, and they just dig and dig and dig forever because it's artistic. Eventually some people in the city next to the pit find out that there are black slaves owned by stormtroopers, so the people get all angry and they free the black slaves from the stormtroopers. This is a cut and dry story that slavery is bad, and if you know anyone with black slaves, you should immediately free them. It kind of sounds antiquated saying it out loud, but that's literally what this is about. This is about slavery being bad. Last one is Ayu's Song by Studio Triggerfish from South Africa. This one was basically baby Star Wars, and this one put me to sleep. So yeah, I fell asleep after this one. Great job. This one, yeah, this one was probably the worst one because I fell asleep in it. Not that I was tired, but this one was just probably the most boring one, and it was very, very cutesy. It looks like it was trying to be a Pixar, Disney, cutesy, whatever it was. Yeah, this one just didn't wow me at all or connect with me on like any level because I thought it was too babyish. So yeah, that's Star Wars Vision Season 2. Definitely the Studio Mir one, that was probably some of the best work I've ever seen by them. The Aardman work, that one was super funny. The French one was questionable but not bad. Same thing with the Ireland one and the first one. Those ones were all like good for certain reasons, but at the same time like not great either. And yeah, then the rest of them were just like either too not actually about Star Wars or too boring or too just like not able to connect with me as an audience member. So yeah, that's what I thought. Let me know what you guys thought. Do you guys like Star Wars? I grew up with Star Wars, so every once in a while I watch something when there's like a new stuff. And plus, this one was pretty cool for me since I'm an animator, and it was like all about different animation studios trying to like do their thing, which, you know, I can respect. All right, later, guys.